And Michigan State Police arrested 6 individuals charged in a federal complaint with conspiring to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer.
The feds stopping a plot by government extremists to abduct Governor Whitmer at her vacation home. 6 men, 5 of them from Michigan, now facing federal charges, as 7 others are charged with trying to target police and the state capitol. What the suspects allegedly intended for their hostage, how law enforcement disrupted their plans, and how the governor herself is responding to the news. It's all ahead right here on 7 Action News at 4.
7 Action News starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon to you. I'm Carolyn Clifford. It is Thursday, and I want to welcome you to 7 Action News at 4. We begin with breaking news. 13 people facing federal and state charges for conspiring to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer and storm the state capitol in Lansing. Many of the suspects are from right here in Metro Detroit. We first reported this breaking development in a push alert to your phone as it was unfolding. We now know the charges announced today were connected to a raid by federal agents at a home in Heartland. 7 Action News reporter Jim Kirchner joins us live now from the scene of that very raid. He has the very latest. So, Jim, what have you learned on this, crazy situation? You can't call it anything but.
Certainly stunning, especially when you learn that this was a plot that was starting to be discussed back in the spring. The feds were on this early on and continued to monitor it as they were gathering evidence. And as you said, the raid here last night, simultaneous with a raid over in Grand Rapids and several up north. Now take a look. As the raid was going down here in Heartland last night at around 7:30 and sunset, a resident started rolling on his cell phone and posted it on Facebook. The feds say in a 16-page complaint, the police started talking about state officials as murdering tyrants and others in state government beyond just the governor. They held tactical training. They talked about needing 200 people to storm the state capitol. The FBI had confidential informants, undercover agents, audio and video recordings from the meetings. The plot all to do this before the November election. 13 people arrested.
The individuals in custody are suspected to have attempted to identify the home addresses of law enforcement officers in order to target them, made threats of violence intended to instigate a civil war, and engaged in planning and training for an operation to attack the Capitol building of Michigan and to kidnap government officials, including the governor of Michigan.
Who were preparing to kidnap and possibly kill me. When I put my hand on the Bible and took the oath of office 22 months ago, I knew this job would be hard. But I'll be honest, I never could have imagined anything like this.
Governor called the people arrested sick and depraved. Now, coming up next hour at 5, what happened inside this home right before the raid last night? The final acts. We'll have that for you next hour. Live in Heartland. Jim Kirchner, 7 Action News.
All right. Thank you so much, Jim, for the live report. We'll hear more details from you coming up at 5. And just moments ago, as you heard, the governor herself responding to that breaking news, making national headlines today after expressing thanks to law enforcement for stopping the plot against her life in its tracks. She sent a strong message to anyone plotting violence in our state.
So let me say this loud and clear. Hatred, bigotry, and violence have no place in the great state of Michigan. If you break the law or conspire to commit heinous acts of violence against anyone, we will find you, we will hold you accountable, and we will bring you to justice.
Still ahead on 7 Action News at 5, a closer look at just who these suspects are and the extremist groups they're linked to. And tonight on Action News at 6, protecting the governor. What security measures are in place to keep Governor Whitmer safe? As always, we want you to stay with 7 Action News on air and online for continuing coverage on the alleged plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer. You can read the entire criminal complaint, and you can watch the entire press conference with the governor and the attorney general. We'll bring you the very latest updates on this developing story as they come into the 7 Action Newsroom.